Welcome to the Shreveport Connected with Tommy. This video is on Smackdown, Saturday Morning Slam, and also Superstars Internet. But first, some news. What happened after Raw last night? John Cena and Bret Hart hung around ringside for about 10 minutes with the fans. One sports journalist who was at ringside asked Hart about the status on Jerry Lawler's condition, and Hart told him that Lawler was in really bad shape. Speaking of Lawler, his heart attack at Raw last night has been picked up by several mainstream media outlets, including Fox, CNN, and the Associated Press, and others. The mood backstage at Raw last night was a very intense one. When the scare with Jerry Lawler first happened, nobody was paying attention to the show. That's why it was so quiet. And a lot of the crew were in groups spraying. More than one source is reporting that the EMTs backstage saved Lawler's life. That gives you an idea of how serious Lawler's condition was. People were talking about how it's a good thing that Lawler had the scare at a WWE event where proper medical staff were able to treat him and save his life. Lawler had just returned from an independent wrestling tour over the weekend in Aruba, where things could have been different. At last word, Lawler was listed in stable condition at the cardiac ICU of a local Montreal hospital. A fan in attendance at Raw noted that there are several hospitals within 15 minutes of the arena. And a partial source goes to f4wonline.com. Pro wrestling legend Ric Flair made a guest appearance by telephone on HLN Evening Express to comment on Jerry Lawler's suffering a heart attack during Monday's WWE Raw. Flair was asked about being concerned about wrestling at his age. That's our Achilles heel, he said. If you worry about getting hurt, you shouldn't be in the ring. Flair was asked about what he thought about Lawler wrestling at the age of 62, and he is quoted by saying, "I think he did the right thing, if that's what he wanted to do." As Flair said, he also said, "To my knowledge, Jerry is in good health. Age is just a number, and you can view the footage from the interview at HLNTV.com. /video, /2012, /9, /11, /Jerry Lawler Wrestling Heart Attack Ric Flair." For those that don't know what HLN is, it's headline news. Flair also noted that Lawler doesn't wrestle for the money and said he does so because he loves the business. Flair praised Lawler as being better in the ring than many of the wrestlers who are under the age of 30. Based on Flair's comments, it doesn't appear that Lawler's heart attack is making him reconsider wrestling at his own age. JR commented via his website blog at jrsbarbecue.com. Comments, "For Jerry Lawler to be sick is highly unusual," JR wrote. "Being a 62-year-old man, the King has been as fit as anyone that I've known. He wrestles several times a month on the indie circuits and still plays his Memphis Softball League on Wednesday nights. Jerry is also young at heart, which isn't new news. Plus, my longtime partner and traveling companion has never smoked, drank alcohol, or been a drug user. In a rough and tumble business, Jerry Lawler has essentially been an Iron Man since the 70s, but even self-acclaimed Iron Men aren't bulletproof, even though many of us think that we are. Trust me, we aren't. I'm not sure what caused Jerry's heart attack, but it could have been genetic. Jerry's dad died of a heart attack at a young age, or something that has been brewing for a good while. I don't know. In any event, suffering a massive heart attack is obviously life-changing. I shudder to think that the outcome would have been Jerry had been wrestling on one of the indie shows, that he was often booked. Heck, even driving to the arena or sitting in a restaurant might have proven fatal based on the hand that the King was dealt in Montreal Monday evening. The last report that I received is that Jerry is in stable condition and getting excellent cardio care in a Montreal hospital. All of Jerry's vital signs are stable, according to WWE.com. This is the information that we need to hear at this time, and it is positive. Tomorrow is another day, and God willing, we will be in an even better day for the King. Based on the information that I have, Jerry was extremely lucky to have been at a WWE event when his attack occurred. The immediate care of the trained professionals provided Jerry likely saving his life. I shudder to think what the outcome would have been if Jerry had been wrestling on one of those indie shows. Stacey Carter, the ex-wife of Jerry the King Lawler, provided the following update on WWE Hall of Famer's condition on Tuesday by her Facebook page. She's quoted by saying, "The docs are removing his ventilation and taking him out of sedation. He is responsive, which is great. It took a while to revive him last night, and there was a fan in attendance that said he could have been actually dead for at least 10 to 20 minutes. So there's a concern of brain damage. He had some tests done, which will show how much, if any, damage there is due to the lack of oxygen to his brain. Unfortunately, the results won't be until tomorrow morning. It's good to hear that Lawler has been under sedation, as explains the reports that he hasn't been talking since he has suffered his heart attack during Raw. PWTorch.com is reporting that Jerry Lawler had 3 stents inserted on Monday night following his heart attack on Raw, and he has not spoken since he underwent surgery. The report cites friends of Lawler's family as the sources of the story. Obviously, I think we all feel better about the situation should we receive word that Lawler is able to communicate with friends and family. WWE star Mark Henry served as one of the pallbearers at actor Michael Clarke Duncan's funeral service on Monday. And you can read about the service and view a photo of Henry and the other pallbearers carrying the casket at nydailynews.com/entertainment/TV movies /Michael Clarke Duncan life celebrated images song speeches article -1.1156400. Duncan has been a huge fan of WWE and MMA. His service was held on Monday in Los Angeles, California at Forest Lawn Memorial Park and mortuaries. Actor George Clooney has recently split from former WWE diva Stacy Keibler, as The Sun reports. Keibler reportedly told her friends her relationship with Clooney is over. A statement is expected any day announcing the couple have split amicably. A friend of Keibler told a publication, she said George wants to be on his own again and has no intention of getting married. Stacey hoped that they would be together long term. It was a big breakthrough to spend time with his parents, but over the last few weeks, George has pulled away from it. The couple have been romantically involved for over a year. Former WWE talent John Morrison, John Hennigan, aka John Morrison, will appear in England this December for Preston City Wrestling, as he takes on Noam Dar, unknown wrestler by my unknowing for that particular company. The event takes place December 9th at Lava Ignite on Church Street in Preston, England. And there's a video of Hennigan sending a message to Dar. I did not get the website, and I do apologize. WWE Intercontinental Champion The Miz will defend his title against Sin Cara, Rey Mysterio, and Cody Rhodes in a fatal 4-way at this Sunday's Night of Champions pay-per-view. The match will be announced on Friday's Smackdown. Here's what looks to be the final card for Sunday. I didn't get that. And matches taped tonight and on Ottawa, Ontario, Canada for this week's Friday Night Smackdown were Sin Cara versus The Miz in a non-title match, and that will set up your Fatal 4-Way. Kofi Kingston versus Kane. Tensai versus Randy Orton. Caitlyn versus Beth Phoenix. Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan was your main event. Well, WWE diva Tamina Snuka has been teasing something new for her on Twitter, and she wrote the following teaser after last night's Raw after the tag match, and she's quoted by saying, "The Divas tag match tonight on #Raw was interesting, though something's missing." And she goes, "The chaotic exotic one," and "prepare yourselves." Noted before that it's believed eventually WWE will have Vince McMahon fire AJ Lee and Booker T from their general manager jobs before bringing in a top name to run both shows. Rumors are rumbling now that Ric Flair may be brought in to run both Raw and SmackDown. It's also been rumored that Flair may be brought in to take place of the Vicky Guerrero managing Dolph Ziggler. Even before Jerry Lawler suffered a heart attack at Raw last night in Montreal, there were several timing issues and script rewrites in the 8 p.m. hour. Bret Hart was apparently all over the place last night's show, but ended up having some stuff edited out. Apparently WWE also edited out more skits with Kane, Daniel Bryan, and Dr. Shelby. As I noticed before in previous weeks, that they had done many segments about a month ago, and they probably just reviewed them one or two videos a week. The following matches are listed for the 11 p.m. Central Time airing of the AWA on ESPN Classic. John Nord versus Spike Jones. Johnny Stewart versus Evans. Peterson and McCord versus the Tokyo Bullets. And the living legend Larry Zbyszko versus the Trooper. And also Larry Zbyszko versus Brad Renegans for the AWA title. The advertised dark main event for tonight's SmackDown taping is Sheamus versus Alberto Del Rio versus Randy Orton in a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight title. I don't know if I got the results for that match, but I did get the Saturday Morning Slam and SmackDown version of the Superstars. And here, Saturday Morning Slam, Rey Mysterio versus Michael McGillicuddy was taped in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada to air for the Saturday Morning Slam. And it's Rey Mysterio defeated Michael McGillicuddy by pinfall. For all portion of Superstars, as I reported on last night's video, Scott Stanford and Josh Matthews came out for commentary for Superstars. Tensai defeated Justin Gabriel, solid back and forth match. Crowd got into it. Tensai won with his running senton. Tensai called Sakamoto into the ring and made him kneel, but no beatdown. Of course, he won the match. So, match number 2, Santino Marella defeated Jinder Mahal. Lots of comedy spots. Mahal dominated most of the match. Santino got his comeback, then Cobra for the win. SmackDown version, Superstars. Natalya defeated Alicia Fox. Cody Rhodes pinned Zack Ryder. Woo, woo, woo. Oops, you lost, Zack Ryder. SmackDown for September the 11th taping. Thanks to Brad, Angela, and Karen Cross for the following WWE SmackDown spoilers from tonight's taping in Ottawa. And those are fans of ProWrestling.net. Alberto Del Rio, Ricardo Rodriguez, and David Otunga come to the ring to open up SmackDown. Both Ricardo and Otunga are wearing neck braces. They're upset about Sheamus and the deposition. Daniel Bryan comes out, and then Sheamus comes out, and Sheamus isn't buying it, and lays out Otunga again as Del Rio escaped. Sin Cara defeated the WWE Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, in a non-title match. Sin Cara botched more moves than usual, according to one of the correspondents. Rey Mysterio and Cody Rhodes made an appearance, which sets up the Fatal 4-Way for the title, and Night of Champions was announced. Then you got Kane defeating Kofi Kingston by chokeslam before the match. Kane hugged Kofi before the match. Next match was Randy Orton coming out to a massive pop and beats Tensai with RKO. The next match Sheamus versus Daniel Bryan in a WrestleMania rematch was announced for the main event. Caitlyn gets the upset win over Beth Phoenix as Layla was on commentary. In your main event, Sheamus defeated Daniel Bryan with the Texas Cloverleaf. And nothing other than that was said. And that will end my results. Once I find the results for the dark match, you can catch the results on my Facebook account. And that's my report for this week for Smackdown 9/14/2012. That's the way it be. Sometimes, as Mama says, it bees that way sometimes. Wonder what famous wrestler said that. Could it be Iceman King Parsons? I liked his saying. Well, that ends my ranting and raving for your Superstars, Smackdown, and Saturday Morning Slam. Ooh, yeah, brother.